Yes, Ellen, let's not beat around the bush. You're well versed in the notorious after-parties Diddy mentioned, since you, too, have graced them with your presence. Ellen, were the whispers about P. Diddy a shock to you? Given his frequent appearances on your show, one might wonder. Have you, Ellen, ventured into his celebrated soirees? And oh, the plot thickens. The feds have apparently unearthed your name, Ellen DeGeneres, in a legal battle with Diddy, tied to the dark dealings of human smuggling, including the trafficking of innocent children. Imagine the field day Wendy Williams would have had with these incendiary topics these past weeks. She's sorely missed, isn't she? Wendy tried to alert us about Diddy, dredging up what seemed to be a broken record of warnings that fell on deaf ears. Warnings not just about him, but about you too, Ellen. Decades on television strip you bare, revealing the core of who you truly are. Diddy and Ellen, you both sought to dismantle her credibility, yet Wendy, in her current strife, is likely tossing out her iconic "how you doing?" or crafting a biting retort. For those astounded by these revelations, let's delve deeper into the tangled web woven by Diddy and Ellen, and what the feds might know about their liaison. Anyone who's a fan of The Ellen Show would recall Diddy as a fixture. With his party antics currently under the microscope, fans are revisiting his past interviews with Ellen, especially a notable one where he quizzed her about her absence from his lavish gatherings. You're definitely invited. I've invited you to all my events, you just never show up, he said. No. They're on the East Coast, she replied. Well, that explains it. Why not host something here on the West Coast, he suggested. Because I'm always working, she countered. Well, perhaps we could throw one at your place then. Diddy insinuated, possibly hinting at more secretive, wild affairs. Remember, Ellen got the invite to every single bash. Not that the locations were too remote, but she never felt any qualms about the events. Diddy's offhand comment about after-midnight parties being quite different should have raised alarms. Consider starting a party at midnight. How long might it last? This specific interview dates back years, yet murmurs persist that Ellen has been seen at some of Diddy's more clandestine parties, which allegedly veered into troubling, potentially unlawful activities. When it comes to illicit dealings, Ellen has been implicated in a sinister transportation network. Street talk suggests the feds possess footage of Ellen amidst a throng of children at one of Diddy's events, leaving us to wonder about the nature of their activities. Remember the scandal involving Ellen and the outrageously priced Wayfair furniture, linked to names of missing individuals like Nara, Yuritsa, Samaya, and Olivia? It's now implied these pieces were part of a smuggling operation, involving figures like Ellen and Diddy. Despite initial dismissals of these accusations as mere conspiracy theories, current developments in Diddy's case may lend some credence to them, positioning Ellen at the heart of this controversy. It seems increasingly plausible that Ellen was deeply entangled in the Wayfair debacle, with the company accused of masquerading as a legitimate enterprise while allegedly facilitating human trafficking. This resurgence of discussion is fueled by recent claims of one shopper recalling their shock at the exorbitant prices of mundane items on Wayfair, only for a former employee to later reveal that such high-ticket items were handled exclusively by senior staff. Indeed, if Wendy Williams were still wielding her platform, she'd be voraciously dissecting the saga, having always been the whistleblower unafraid to be dragged through the mire for shedding light on the truth. Wendy Williams has long been sounding the alarm, especially about Diddy, hasn't she? Cast your mind back to 2009 when Charlamagne the God co-hosted her radio show. Wendy brought on Mark Curry, a former bad boy rapper, to discuss his explosive book, Dancing with the Devil, How Puff Burned the Bad Boys of Hip-Hop. The devil unmistakably referred to Diddy, and during that revealing interview, Mark didn't mince words. This man casts a long shadow, and when it rains, trust me, it pours on you too. Wendy wholeheartedly concurred with Mark's chilling portrayal of Diddy, and for those loyal followers of Wendy's shows, you'll recall she's never shied away from calling out the heavyweights, be it Diddy, or her forthright discussions about R. Kelly's troubling liaisons with Aaliyah, or hinting at the secretive misdemeanors of Russell Simmons and Bill Cosby. She stood at the vanguard, boldly spotlighting rappers leading double lives and their harmful impacts on women. Wendy knew the stakes. She knew the stories she was unearthing about Hollywood's dark corners, particularly about Diddy, were volatile. Remember the brief hiatus in Diddy and Cassie's relationship in 2015? Wendy speculated on air about the imbalanced power dynamics, saying, "When you're involved with a mogul, it's nearly impossible to escape their orbit. Imagine, he could jet off this instant, land atop the hotel you're staying in, and charm his way to your doorstep." Her voice carried a tinge of paranoia, a reflection of the omnipresent power such figures wield. Diddy, perhaps feeling the heat of her accusations, reportedly pushed to have her blacklisted from industry circles, as Wendy herself noted in her 2004 tome, The Wendy Williams Experience, expressing her disdain for Puff's ruthless attempt to derail her career. In a more harrowing recount from 2005 during the Wendy Williams Experience, on Hot 97, Wendy claimed she was nearly ambushed by Total, a girl group under Diddy's label, right outside her studio, a move she insinuated was orchestrated by Diddy. She vividly described the scene on her 2019 talk show. "There I was, wrapping up, headphones in hand, when I noticed a crowd at the window, staring down. Descending, I was confronted by the group, leaping from a cab, ready to confront me, over truths I had dared to speak. They were broke, living in squalor, and I had merely stated the facts." Moreover, in a 2013 Vlad TV interview, Wendy reflected on her firing, suggesting it was tied to her candid discussions about certain hip-hop figures. There was once a radio personality, Wendy Williams, who was almost crucified for speaking up. And now everything's come full circle. And yes, Wendy hasn't held back about Ellen either, especially after it emerged that the Ellen DeGeneres show wasn't the cheerful sanctuary it was portrayed to be. Wendy didn't hesitate to expose the dissonance, recalling a guest episode where her discomfort was palpable, yet she had to hold her tongue until others voiced their observations, prompting her to say, "I wasn't happy, just saying, Norman." The revelations sparked a broader conversation, with many echoing her sentiments. "Oh my gosh, it's not looking good for either Diddy or Ellen." So what's your take on Ellen's involvement in Diddy's escapades? Are the swirling tales ringing true? How do you weigh Wendy's preemptive strikes against them? Share your thoughts in the comments below.